Hold on, man. I'm having a hard time streaming. Okay, here we go. All right, I think I'm streaming now. And let me close a couple of windows so we don't get an echo effect. Cholo, you want to check your mic? Oh, unmute your mic. I muted you.
Ah, fucking Bubba. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear
All
you.
right. Cool.
Okay,
Where
mute
is
your
it?
mic. All right, let me get my slides up and then we'll get started.
It says going live at 8. Why can't I just hit a link there?
Messenger, dude.
Which one?
EHOTS.
All right, everybody. We are live on Facebook. We should be streaming on my page as well as on the Fast Cholo Racing Facebook group page. And we're going to kind of go over the race
Nice.
preview for the 2025 edition of EHOTS, or Eddie Sell of the South. And my name is David Hernandez. I am the president, founder of Valley Off-Road Bicycling Association, or VORBA, your local mountain bike chapter here in the Rio Grande Valley. And we are co-hosting this in conjunction with Fast Cholo Racing. And on audio, I have both Freddie Pereira and Bubba Angel. And you guys want to say hello? Make sure you unmute.
All right. What's up?
You there, Dave?
I'm here.
We're here. All
Oh,
right.
man. We're at the
Welcome, everybody,
good evening.
to 2025 EHOTS.
I believe Freddie and Bubba are at Club Natique
Yes, we are.
along the Rio Grande, where we'll be hosting this event like we have the last 2 years. So how does it look out there, guys?
Looks clean and clear. River's up high, and the grass is green, and they promise they'll have it cut. There's plenty of parking. Looks good.
It's beautiful out here, man. It's going to be a great race.
We need a boat.
All right, for those of you that are not familiar with Club Natique, it's right off of the Rio Grande. You're literally on the Rio Grande. Very nice place. The only time you get access to it is during this event. Very happy to have had the event and the folks over at Club Natique. Bubba, can you tell us who the owners are there?
It's a good old friend that we used to hang out at Pep is on the river with, and he ended up finding this wonderful place on a deal, I believe, at the tax office. So he got lucky, I think. But it's a friend of my local businessman, and he just we put it on the calendar and we work out a deal, and it happens.
great. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely probably the better of the venues that we've been able to host at. It's a big draw, and they have that clubhouse where we do the after party. I mean, you're right on the river. After a hot ride in July, what better place to cool off and enjoy? They have really nice air conditioned restrooms, so you can go wash up and take what do they call that?
There's 2 showers out here, Dave.
There's two showers, okay. Or
Yes, sir. You can't stop
I've
it.
always
Yeah,
wanted to
toilet
see
seats are
somebody like
prepared.
ride their bike straight into the Rio Grande after the ride, to
That,
cool off.
that's why we keep the gate closed. But no, there are showers, conveniently outdoor showers, so you can rinse all the mud and muck off after the rains of June and July. And the restrooms are the best restrooms on the river. They're cold 365 days a year.
Nice.
There's
All right.
also somewhere to rinse off your bike as well. So we happen to get mud during the race, we do have washing stations as well to wash off your bikes.
Perfect. And that brings me to last year. We had this fun stuff. It had been raining leading up to the event, and there was a nice
Uh-oh.
stretch of mud on one parts of the course, which made it pretty spicy. So you never know what to expect. You think that, July is hot and dry, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is like this. So you never know what to expect. EHOTS is always an adventure every year, and just be prepared for anything. First, before we get into some of the more details about the event, we do want to thank our sponsors for this year's race. Again, Club Natique for allowing us to have the venue. We'd like to thank Joe Aguilar with Texas Branding Iron, JT Cycling down in Brownsville. Other corporate sponsors that we have Shimano, we have Formula 369, uh, and locally we're bringing on Spikes Ford. We'd like to thank Susanna Smiles. A lot of the goodies that we give out, and even some of the beverages are leftovers from the SB 250. So we'd like to thank Casey and crew for that over at Susanna Smiles, and also Sun and Ski Sports. They were sponsored last year. They're coming back again this year with a monetary donation that'll go to the payout, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Anything else, Bubba, in regards to sponsors or anything else that you want to say?
Just the addition of the Spikes Ford here in Mission was a new one that jumped on board today. Appreciate the help there. And again, Sun and Ski's been with us for a few years. Everybody else and all the volunteers, man, it doesn't happen without even the wonderful leftovers from the SB 250. So Susanna Smiles is also a distant sponsor of this wonderful event too. So no, we just need to get a good head count. That's the biggest deal. Procrastination really sucks when you're trying to organize an event like this. So if y'all can get on board, and if you're going to do it, please hurry up, sign up so I know what I'm planning for. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes us a few days to put this one together. Y'all know that. So I want to put on a safe event and make sure it's well marked. So we'll have plenty of ribbons out this year, and the course will be well marked again as well as I can do it. And also try to have a good electronic map in case we need to do it that way. So that's about it at the moment. What else you've got?
Thanks, Bubba. We can't forget the main sponsor for this event. This is a Fast Cholo racing event in collaboration with Valley Off-Road. So, of course, we do have the CEO for Fast Cholo Sealant with us, Freddie Pereira, also last year's traditional category winner. So definitely thanks to Freddie for continuing to the tradition, no pun intended, of this event year over year. And just a reminder, the event, we're almost a month away from the event. This will take place Sunday, July the 6th. So it is the Sunday after the July 4th. So go get all of your July 4th Independence Day fireworks out of the way and get yourself ready for this race. It is the Valley's premier gravel event. Mountain bike is also in there. And then, of course, we can't forget how this event started, which was the traditional category, which is basically a road bike that you're riding on. We'll get into the details in that in a little bit. But don't forget, Sunday, July 6th, if you haven't registered, we've got a few people that have registered already. Thank you for those early birds. We appreciate that. That gives us some funds to get this thing started, but we do need everybody else. Please don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till the last day. We do have some late fees that kick in a week before the race, and then of course the day before the race. So don't get caught up in that. Right now it's $40 to register. It goes to 50 a week before, and it goes to 60 the day before. So get your registrations in. That helps us with our race budget, and allows us to get the things that we need to get for this event. Um, let's get into the rules. So this is a multi-discipline race. And as you heard me mention, there's three categories of bikes that race this event. There is the traditional, which is a road bike. There is gravel, and there is a mountain bike. So three categories, different levels for each one. I believe there's an intermediate, and there's an open, and traditional, there's men and women. There's also a non-competitive category. So if you just want to go and ride, you're able to do that with no pressure to race or anything like that. Um, so these are the rules for the bike types. So obviously, we want it to be a level playing field if you're racing traditional gravel or mountain bikes. So, and Freddie, jump in if you need to correct me on anything. But for traditional, it does have to be a drop handlebar, 28C max road tire, uh, 32C max if you're riding fixed gear. Last year we didn't have any fixies, but in case you do, no disc brakes allowed, or no brakes if you're riding fixed gear. Absolutely no aero bars, rigid fork, and road bike specific geometry. Freddie, anything else on the traditional category? Freddie, hello.
No air
Freddie,
bars
did
in
I
any
lose you?
category. Yeah, no. So the only thing that's really not allowed, period, in any category, and well, there's no.
Oh, I think we lost him. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Sorry about that. I'm in again. Could you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, you're a little choppy, but go
All
ahead.
right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So the the main thing is no air bars allowed in any category. And as far as e-bikes are concerned, if you do want to ride an e-bike, you can, but it would be in the non-competitive category.
Okay, good point. Yeah, so like that's a question we get every year. Is there an e-bike category? So unfortunately, we don't have a dedicated category for that because there's so many variations of e-bikes. There's gravel e-bikes, there's mountain e-bikes, there's road e-bikes. So if you want to ride your e-bike, you're more than welcome to, but it will be in the non-competitive category. So that means no podiums, none of that stuff. For gravel bike, you can it can be a drop handlebar or flat bar. No tire width minimum or maximum. You can run disc or caliper brakes. Like Freddie said, absolutely no aero bars. Rigid fork or short travel suspension. We know like some of the gravel bikes do have slight suspension on the front. Um, and then finally, a gravel bike specific geometry, no mountain bike frame. So we had an issue last year where we had somebody that was competing in the gravel category, but it was a mountain bike frame. So just be really careful what you're running. We don't want any type of advantages, especially if you podium. It does have to be a gravel bike specific geometry. And then finally, for the mountain bike category, flat bar only, no drops, 34 tooth max chain ring. That was an issue last year as well. Make sure you're within that no road configuration on your chain ring. 2-inch tire width minimum. Okay, so no skinnies. Uh, Disc or caliper brakes are fine. Again, no aero bars, full suspension or hardtail, and it has to be a mountain bike specific geometry. No gravel bikes that you put a fork on it, or no Frankenstein bikes. It has to be a mountain bike, just to keep it fair in that category. Freddie, any last words on the rules for the bike categories?
So anybody that podiums, I will be going around and checking all the bikes just like last year. There's a reason we do it. We do it so that it is fair. We don't want anybody to have an advantage. I know in previous years that was brought up, and that's the reason why we have a list of rules so that there isn't anybody that gets upset. So please read the rules carefully, and if you can't understand any part of those rules, reach out to one of us, to me, Bubba, or David, just in case you have any questions. That's it.
Perfect. So for registration, for traditional, there's a men and women category. Okay, that's completely open. There's no beginner traditional. There's none of that. It's just traditional. For gravel bike, we have open men and women. We have intermediate men and women. For mountain bike, the same thing: open men and women, intermediate men and women. No beginner. Mountain bike does have a beginner category for men and women, and then of course there's the non-competitive category as well. So pick your poison. No sandbagging. If we see somebody who's racing beginner and we know you've been riding for like 10 years, go up to intermediate. Challenge yourself. We'll call you out. If not, your friends will make fun of you. Race in your category. Beginner is like true beginners. If this is like your first race, or you've never raced on a gravel bike before, or you've never raced on a mountain bike before, that's what it's for. But it's not for the seasoned rider. If you've been riding a long time, get into intermediate category. As far as the other rules, I'll just go over these really quickly. Again, we just went over the bike specifications, so make sure you're within those. We do have a bike check that happens for those that get on the podium. That happens when you come in. Number two, no hand-ups. You must be self-sufficient, or you can stop at any one of the neutral water stops that are along the route. Typically, we have a water stop every 5 to 10 miles. So you can stop, you can refuel there, but no hand-ups. You can't have somebody on the course that's there with a water bottle. You definitely can't have a vehicle that's out there on the road waiting for you. You have to be self-sustainable. If you look at pictures from past events, people are wearing hydration packs. They got multiple water bottles. You've got to be self-sustainable. That's part of the challenge of this race. Number three, absolutely no personal sags. You cannot have somebody follow you. You can't have somebody that's going to meet you at a water stop or at a cross point or at the turnaround. No sags. We don't want any vehicles on the course. If you need to have somebody that is on standby to pick you up if you can't finish, that's fine, but they cannot be on the course. And we'll enforce that. We have a course marshals that are all along the route. We'll have a roving sag that is the lead out vehicle for the event. So we'll have a lot of eyes out there, and it's an automatically DQ disqualification if we catch you with a personal sag. Number four, basically a race rule: no takedowns, no tire rubbing. There's no whole shot here. This is not mountain bike racing where you got to try to get in front of everybody before you go on the trails. These are wide open roads and gravel roads, plenty of room to pass. So there's no need to be on top of somebody or drafting behind somebody or anything like that. I know groups will form and you'll draft behind each other, but just watch your wheels, watch when you cross wheels. Be careful out there. Um, every rider will be documented. If you're doing the full route, the 54 miles, we document your number at the turnaround once you get to Gruya in Rio Grande City. So if your number is not documented, if you cut the course short, we'll have a record of that, and that could warrant did not finish. So make sure that when you hit that turnaround, you yell out your number. Make sure they got your plate number as you're turning around with a course marshal that's there, so that we have documentation of that, so there's no issues when you come in and finish. Okay. Also, make sure that race plate on the front of your bike is legible, especially if there's mud. Just wipe it down. But you have to know what your race plate number is in case something happens, so that when you come through, you just yell out your number. Okay. That also applies to when you finish, because that's how we document your time. This is a manually timed event. These are not race chips. So as you come in, we basically tap your number that registers your finish time. But if we can't see your number, we can't see your plate, then it could delay the process. So make sure that your race plate is legible at all times.
If inclement weather, hey Dave, if there's inclement weather, we can always use Sharpies.
Yeah, right. If you cannot finish, stop at the closest course marshal. Call that they can call in your plate number as a DNF. You know your body. If you're dehydrating or whatever, stop. at the closest course marshal. We'll have some people that will be able to pick you up, some SAG vehicles that can go out and drive to one of those points and pick you up. But don't think that you're gonna get picked up like within 5 minutes. Okay, it's gonna take a little time. So uh, also, any race violations will be documented, like I mentioned, by course or course marshals or designated riders participating in the race. If there's a protest, if you feel like you were DNF'd or DNQ'd unjustly, you'll have to meet with me as well as our group, our board for the race, our race directors, if you will, within 15 minutes of the close of the race at 12 p.m. So you'll have up until 12:15 to challenge or protest any final results. And then we'll start podiums. Right after that, we'll be celebrating the top three for each category. There is a finisher's wood token that will be provided to all riders who finish the full 54 miles. Okay. So unfortunately, if you're part of the non-competitive and you only do like 20 miles, there's not going to be a wood medal for you. It's really only for those that challenge themselves and do the full 54 miles.
There's always raffle prizes.
That's right. And you get a meal. So you can't go wrong. As far as schedule, we'll open the gates at 5:30 a.m. at Club Natique, so you can get in, park, get comfortable, get your gear ready. 5:45, you can come into the gazebo where we'll be set up with a table, pick up your race plate. The only thing you're picking up is just a race plate. Okay, we might have some other things like some water and things like that to fill up your bottles, but really the only thing you're getting is your race plate and your twist ties to put on your front handlebar. If you're a volunteer, we do need volunteers. We'll be putting out a link for people to sign up if you've volunteered in the past. Definitely, we're looking forward to seeing you all again. You'll pick up your vest, you'll pick up your flag. If you're a water station, you'll get your water jug and stand, and then you'll get cones if you're a road crossing. And you also get a T-shirt. 6:30 a.m. You'll start staging up on the levee, like this picture right here. You'll start staging there, and start getting ready. We'll do race announcements, myself and Bubba, at 6:45, and then at 7 a.m. we start the race. It's a neutral rollout, and from there, you'll after the rollout, there'll be a designated area that'll be marked off. There'll be a line painted. As soon as you hit that line, then it's all out. Okay, that's when you can start the race. The cutoff for the turnaround is going to be the same as last year. You got to get to Gruya by 10 a.m. That gives you 3 hours to get there. If you don't get there in 3 hours, then with tailwind, then hey, it's time to call it quits, get it picked up, and come back. We're not going to wait. We're not going to be out there until 10 o'clock at night for the last person to roll in. If you're not there by 10, we want to bring you back. We want to have you there at the after party. That'll start at 12 p.m. This is the anticipated course map. We will have an update because there's going to be a little bit of a change for the start finish area, which we'll post. Bubba, Freddie, y'all want to talk a little bit about that really quick?
I made a little contact here this evening. They were trying to pick up some people that were trying to come in illegal, I guess, and talked to the Border Patrol folks. And I've got a pretty good idea of where we can go. I'm thinking we're going to do a little change on the start and stay away from the railroad tracks, if at all possible. But she gave me some information I need to follow up on, and we'll be working with that over the next few days.
It's
Okay.
literally right at the start and finish. So if there is any changes, it's not going to make a big difference in the race. As far as there's no distance difference.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit better because we don't have to worry about the railroad tracks and any traffic that's coming off of Conway. So, like I said, we'll post up the map and some visuals so you all can kind of see.
Yeah, I always wanted to eliminate that head-on traffic. That one little eighth of a mile is so dangerous. Hopefully we'll be able to eliminate that.
Yep. So again, this is where we stage neutral rollout until we get to that point, and then from there it's all on. This is what you can expect: dusty roads, wide gravel roads, back roads, very little traffic, if any. It's really all to yourself. And just like I said, be ready for anything, like your seat breaking off, like what happened to Freddie, or, eating the
won.
poop, eating the poop in the mud like this. And then, of course, what it's all about, we do celebrate the podiums at the end.
Hey, real quick, David.
Top, yeah,
Real, let me add a note. So the neutral rollout is going to be simple, man. Last year, I know there was people trying to get ahead. It's usually me and last year's winner. So this year it's going to be me because I also won. So until we cross that line where the race starts, there's no getting in front of us or in front of me. I mean, at that point, once we
got it.
cross, you go.
Got it. Okay, good to know. And like I said, we'll have a lead vehicle that leads everybody out that will then probably peel off or pull ahead as
Jump
the
out in
racers take
front.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's usually up front. He gives us some space, but we would put a line there right after the tracks. Yeah, but we got it. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And as I mentioned, there are podiums for the top three for each category. And then the traditional men do get their name on the trophy. So that's just been the tradition of this race, going back, what is it, like, 10, 12 years now, guys? So you'll
2011,
see
2011.
2011. Okay, so we're coming up on, this is the 13th anniversary. So you'll see the names on there for each year. So if you're racing traditional, getting your name on here is going to be what it's all about for the men. And then, again, there is an after party. If for those that registered for the race, you will use your race plate as your ticket for your meal. Okay. If you're bringing family, you'll be able to purchase additional meals for them. We want to make sure that everybody that registered for the race does get their meal. So that's why we're kind of enforcing that this year. But you're more than welcome to bring your family. Just know that there'll be a fee that will be charging for additional meals that we'll have. Freddie, you want to share what Branding Iron is bringing for us?
So Branding Iron is actually providing food, a beverage, either water or soda, and a bag of chips. He'll be marked. I don't know who's cooking this year. Last year I know it was Ronnie. I'm not sure if he's gonna make it, but yeah, with your race number, your race plate, you're gonna be able to redeem your free meal that comes with the registration. And wants an additional meal or family members, they are welcome to purchase a meal for $5. That's what Joe said. Oh, another
All
thing I
right.
forgot. They're also providing
Yep.
the beer. Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
There you
So
go.
Joe at Branding Iron, he's actually providing, I think, a keg. We're doing a keg this year again, but we still encourage to bring your own beer if you can, just in case we run out. But I know last year we still had leftovers.
Nice. All right. That sounds like a party afterward. We'll have the music. Mario will be doing his peacocking and celebration. Our number one hype man, Mario, and we'll be celebrating everybody that participated, and it'll be good. It's always a good party afterward, and just kind of celebrating with food and beverages, and they're at Club Natique right there on the river. Any last words, guys?
No, just to emphasize as usual, please decide if you're going to do it tomorrow and register tomorrow when you decide to do it. Want to put on, like I say, a good event for everyone down here as usual. We work real hard, and in honor of an individual, I know we haven't touched on it yet, but we do need to touch on the reason we do it. So, Dave, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So the the name of the race is EHOTS, but it actually stands for, it's an acronym for Eddie's Hell of the South. Originally started off as kind of a shop race that, for the Wally's Bike Shop. It was called Hell of the South. And it was basically a road race, but on gravel, as you can imagine. That's where the traditional category comes from. But Wally actually renamed the event to Eddie's Hell of the South after Eddie Arguez was tragically killed on it, riding his bike to a morning ride in Edinburgh, and a tragic death, impacted the whole cycling community. And we continue this event in his honor. I think he'd still get a kick out of the punishment that we put people through every year in the heat and the conditions. He was just, from what I understand, he was the type of individual that just loved those types of things and making people suffer. So we continue to hold this event in his honor, as well as all those that have been tragically killed, in cycling accidents. And we do this as a reminder to enjoy what we do, but also to be cautious every day of being on the roads and gravel and trails. So, all right, guys, any last words?
Just sign up. That's the only thing I could say. Sign up. If you got any questions, hit one of us up. That's
All
about
right.
it.
Thanks, Freddie. Tomorrow's payday for some of you all. So, hey, let's get signed up. Let's get this thing rolling. We're looking forward to seeing. Let's see if we can beat last year's total number of races. I think what do we have last year? 126 more?
I believe that's right. I believe that's the right number.
Yeah,
I know we ran out of
126.
hamburgers. I know we ran out of hamburgers.
Yeah. So let's see if we can beat that record this
All
year,
right.
guys. I know there's a lot more gravel riders out there. I know there's a group that does a gravel ride on Mondays out in Mission. So we want to see all of you out there. Whether you're racing or you're doing non-competitive, just join the community, be out here with us, celebrate with us, come to the after party with us. So, all right,
Invite a
guys,
friend.
and bring a friend. That's
More the
right, guys.
merrier. Invite a friend.
Invite a friend. All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a great rest of your week. We'll see you all on the trails, the gravel roads, and the roads this weekend. Bye.
Brownsville Pump Track.